Too
Can't
much.
wait to go. Yeah, 8:30 in the morning. Here we go. I got so much sleep last night. I can't believe it. Woo! Oh,
And that is
so
all of
exhausted.
Taylor's energy. That was all of it.
That really might have been all of it.
If you made it through that, then bless you, dear listener.
Yes. That alone took us from 5 to 4.
Mm-hmm. We just lost 3 subscribers because Taylor screamed at him.
Come back!
No, that doesn't work either. Why are you so tired?
Why am I so tired? I'm tired because I don't know. I went to the gym yesterday, which is...
Oh, that's your first mistake.
Yeah. I should listen to dear leader, President Trump, who believes that we have a certain number of movements in our body, so the less we move, the healthier we are. It's a true statement, by the way.
Wow, did he say that?
Yeah.
I only go to Truth social media for my medical advice.
Yeah, well, why don't you go ahead and start eating your red meat and no more grains.
Absolutely. That's what I believe in.
That's right. And don't hit Tylenol because you'll catch the tism.
Well, I thought, well, this is risky because today we're talking about intentional relaxation, and with
Here's what
Taylor's...
we're doing, though. We're trying to get people riled up so they can practice actually coming down from something. We're doing them a huge service.
Well, yeah. Okay, so your heart rate should be pretty high right now after listening to all this. So we're going to help
Mine's
you.
at 88.
88. Oh, that's right. You have some kind of watch that tells you your...
Yeah, a stupid smartwatch that I love how much I hate. Well, no, I don't hate it. I love it. Oh my gosh, dude. I'm so tired.
You know, I had a smartwatch for a while, and I found out that I felt like it was yelling at me. Usually, like this passive aggressive judgment on my wrist all the time, and it did things like it was sleep. I didn't know how to customize it enough, so it like remind me to drink water, and it would be like, "Have you drunk water today?" And I'm like, "Shut up, Grandma." And I'd turn it off, and it would just be like, "You slept like crap last night." I'm like, I know, okay.
Yep.
And so having the watch and then being in meetings and being like, boop, someone's texted you.
Well, that's actually why I got it in the first place. So if I'm sitting with a client and I get a text or an email and someone's like, I'm going to kill myself, I can be like, oh, I should probably, you hang on one moment while I take care of this issue.
Oh.
It's never, there's been like maybe 2 times that somebody has sent me an emergency text in session that I would not have gotten without the watch. So
really? Twice?
Yeah, twice. I mean, I've had a smartwatch since Seattle. So,
well, if you had a nickel for every time someone sent you a risky text, you'd have 2 nickels. It's not a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Yeah, well, I'm a therapist, It happens.
Yeah. That was a quote from Phineas and Ferb, by the way, by Dr. Doofenshmirtz.
Yes.
Credit him.
All credit to the great mouse. Pete, what are we talking about today?
Well, intentional relaxation, which I have translated in my brain as mindfulness, which is risky for you today, having a low body battery, as you said, which sounds like a body part, but it's actually just abstract.
My body battery is adequate. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
No, I have a Garmin
my
watch
body
that's
battery
guaranteed.
envious of my body battery.
Yes, I do. Cursing
Anyway,
your energy.
if yours is low, and we're talking about relaxation, then this could be really good for the podcast, really bad for really good for you, bad for the podcast, or both.
So, this could be a really garbage episode or the best we've ever done. I will say that I do not equate intentional relaxation with mindfulness. I mean, I guess I could. I almost shoulded my pants. I could.
Yeah, you're right.
I never really frame it that way, though. But that's mostly because I issue fancy schmancy labels for interventions.
That's true. I'm only using mindfulness because that's what I was trained in, and really to a hammer, everything's a nail. So I revert to my training for everything, which is probably not very humanistic. I should think outside the box more often.
Well, you don't have to be a humanist just because tend to do more humanistic things. I don't even think of myself as a humanist, I guess. I never really put a whole lot of thought into it, though. You'll be shocked to hear, Pete, I didn't put a lot of thought into this.
Well, that's all right. It's just I guess I gravitated towards mindfulness because in the training, mindfulness is the end result. It's the purpose of relaxation exercises. Like we use relaxation in order to do this thing, which is be mindful. So you can do relaxation for the sake of medical stuff and physical stuff to like maintain a lower heart rate for a longer period of time. But for mental health, usually I'm like, well, we want you to be more mindful, more grateful, more aware of the good things in your life. That's mindfulness. So we're going to use relaxation. So
what's interesting about that is I viewed it the other way around, where mindfulness led to relaxation as opposed to relaxation leading to mindfulness.
Ooh, interesting. I wonder if one is more effective than the other, going one way or the other way.
Interesting.
But in any case,
very interesting.
Maybe I should talk about mindfulness is like my concept of mindfulness and what it is.
Well, mindfulness is the exquisite vividness of your life.
That's right. We have quoted John Kabat-Zinn before. And John Kabat-Zinn is the author of Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction back in the 70s. And he took a lot of relaxation and Buddhist stuff and then structured it and created MBSR, Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction.
And just real quick, I want to jump in and say how ridiculous it is to me that people are like, all right, now relax. Follow these steps and you'll be relaxed.
Yeah,
Really?
and when I say structure, it sounds like do these steps, take this pill, and you'll be okay. But I think mindfulness, even more than other types of therapy, require such like buy-in. You need to be like, if I wasn't here, would you be searching after this yourself? I'm just here to help because you're so eager to do this that I'll show you how to do it. It's not like, well, you're super depressed. We're going to, if you do these things, it'll help. I think mindfulness, requires a lot of buy-in.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel like most therapies require a lot of buy-in, which is silly to me because you and I both know equally well that the basis of all good therapy is the relationship with the therapist, more than literally anything else.
Yeah. I just gave a seminar to a bunch of grad students on clinical work because, anyways, it was like a master's level beginner social work class, and I was going to talk about clinical experience, and I brought some studies where they did actually randomized control studies of good relationships, mediocre relationships, bad relationships with therapists, and it was a very good correlation for effectiveness. So whether you're with a therapist you really like or really hate, and he chooses mindfulness, you should at least know what it is. So if you're with a therapist that you just don't get, then you should probably change therapists, whether or not he uses any kind of modality. But in this case, we'll introduce what it is. Taylor knows what relaxation is. I'm going to talk about MBSR specifically.
Yeah.
The definition of mindfulness is a pretty straightforward, which I like, from John Kabat-Zinn, which is a video he put out called Being Fully Awake in Our Own Lives. And how many times have you driven, you've gone to work, or you're at home, or you go to the grocery store, you go somewhere that you've gone a million times, you get in the car, you start the car, you back out of the driveway, and all of a sudden you're pulling into the parking lot of where you were going. Mm-hmm. And you don't really remember traveling, that your mind wasn't there. It was just
you get out of the car and check to make sure there's no blood on the hood. You didn't run anybody over.
Yeah.
Is that just me?
No, yeah, that's... Yeah, Taylor has like 5 lawsuits against him. So we're trying to help him.
Legally allowed to bring those up.
Yeah, we did a consultation with Judge Peterson last time.
He's like, don't talk about this.
Mindfulness is a way to get to be awake during those times. And especially people who experience anxiety and depression, they usually anxiety lives in the future, depression lives in the past. And say the moment that we have, the only moment you really have ever, is right now. This is the moment you only have, that you possess. Mm-hmm. And the moments, if you can notice the moments, Like I'm sitting here on a folding chair and I feel the temperature in the room, and I'm wearing this new shirt that Taylor gave me. It's pretty comfortable.
What does it say on it, Pete? What
It
does it say?
says synthesis is my superpower,
I
and I
just
hope
want everyone to know that I got Pete a shirt with his least favorite word, and I think I guilted him into wearing it.
Oh man, no, I like this shirt. It's nice, and I only dislike synthesis because it seems to be weaseling its way into every stinking episode, and now it's in writing on the. Anyway, gosh,
You can't see me smiling, but Pete can.
where was I? The moments are good if you can notice
Yeah.
the moments, and they say gratitude is the mother of all other virtues. If you can find the goodness and not be grateful towards anything particularly, maybe gratitude towards yourself, but just feel the goodness of the moment, then you'll find this string of moments in your life as you're mindful of good moments, and you have to pay attention to those because people naturally, especially people with anxiety and depression, focus on the future threats and the past regrets.
This makes me think of a question, and that is, does mindfulness, if used inappropriately, ever lead people to focus more on the negative than the positive, or is that impossible to do if you are appropriately mindful? Because I can see, like, I'm being mindful. Well, okay, my knee hurts. Great. Thank goodness I'm aware of that.
I would say that as you like, this is tying in with physicality in the body and mental health. And
We're synthesizing it?
synthesizing those together. If you can put boundaries around the pain, and you can say, and people will walk around living in lost in thought, as John Butler would say, the human condition is being lost in thought, and you would just be in pain, like having a headache you didn't know was there. If your knee hurt and you went around your life unmindful of the knee pain, you would just be in pain. And if you sat and you decided to use relaxation, and where else you go a whole body scan, and we might do a body scan later, but do a body scan and say, wow, my pain extends from mid thigh to mid shin. That is where my pain radiates. And beyond that in my body, I've done a body scan, and I my left fingernail is a little sensitive, but beyond that, that's it. My knee and my fingernail, and that's a 5, and that's a 2. And the rest of my body is pretty good. And you'd be mindful of the boundaries of the pain instead of just being, quote, in pain and being miserable because, when one part of you is in pain, the whole body is in pain. Being mindful of it means putting boundaries around it. When you said it,
real quick, another question then, Pete, because like I'm so tired, my filter's completely gone, but I think these are good questions. It sounds like what you're saying is that mindfulness done well is an invitation to confrontation.
oh, absolutely. That is a great way to put that. Because if you're conflict averse, you don't want to approach pain. You don't want to approach those feelings. Good. Yeah. Well, it's going to bring up a personal example, but maybe that was, it involves someone else.
Do it, and then we can edit out if it sucks.
Oh, okay. Awesome. So I met a guy the other day who has a conversation. Yeah. Unrelated to me at all. But he was getting the vibes from his wife on a walk. She's usually, hold hands and talk, and it was silent. And he was talking and noticed that she was not. And it became very sticky and uncomfortable. And eventually he said, "You're really quiet today. What's going on? And are you mad at me?" That kind of thing. If you try to put boundaries around the discomfort and say, why am I uncomfortable? It's because my wife's not talking to me. It's something going on. And you could go on that entire walk, and that feeling, that uneasy feeling, would be you're just lost in thought condition without knowing why. But if you're mindful and you're saying, I am feeling uncomfortable right now. What is going on? Why do I feel uncomfortable? Did I do something wrong? No, it's because our relationship, something's going on here. And I've decided, instead of to run from it, to turn towards it. Turning towards is actually a part of mindfulness, turning towards. And you turn towards the relationship, towards the discomfort, towards the awkwardness, and then you can put definitions around it, whether it's a relationship or whether it's a bad knee.
On Monday, Tuesday, one of these days passed. My wife did that to me. She mindfulnessed me. Dag nabbit. The way she did it was we had a disagreement about something. It was, I don't remember exactly what it was even about, as is almost always the case. But I do remember I was mad at her about, I legit can't remember. That's kind of weird to me. Anyway, I was mad at her and I wasn't talking to her. And I wasn't like being like, I just was like, I put some distance between us. I was upstairs. She was downstairs. And I came downstairs and she says, straight up said like, "Hey, are you mad at me?" And I went, "Yeah." And then we talked, but she was aware of the distance and the discomfort, and she named it and I didn't. And that was her being much more emotionally healthy than I was in that moment, which is just, I guess, another reminder that just because we're therapists doesn't mean we're always super calm and in charge of our emotional state. But
you didn't do anything ridiculous. It was just the fact that you felt a certain way, and so your body was acting a certain way. And you may
she
not
knows me well enough
that
she could tell.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I was very aware.
Oh, you were?
I knew I was mad.
Okay.
Yeah.
But she turned
baby.
towards. Yeah.
She confronted. She took the invitation that I should have. Well, showed my pants. I could have. I would have been well served had I. But I'm glad that she can be good when I'm not. Anyway.
She was mindful that you had chosen a certain path of behavior. Mm-hmm. Okay. In 2017, 7 randomly controlled trials involving 864 patients with low back pain. So these were 7 different studies, included nearly 900 people, were evaluated and reviewed and compared to their usual medical and psychological care. This is people using mindfulness. So they took mindfulness studies and randomized controlled trials from mindfulness to regular psychological medical care and see how MBSR compared to those two. Between group differences in disability, mental health, pain acceptance, and mindfulness were not significant at short or long-term follow-up. Compared with an active comparator, MBSR was not associated with significant difference in short or long-term outcomes. Oh. Okay, so what that means is...
Pretend for a second that I'm a blonde idiot. Tailor this down for me.
Okay. That basically means MBSR did not do any harm. It didn't make things worse. It seemed to be as valid as other psychological care modalities. And
for treating low back pain.
Treating low back pain. Yeah. And it was initially studied by John Kabat-Zinn for people with, what was it? It was pain associated with breast cancer. And the pain went quite a bit farther down. In 2013, another analysis of other studies, they pull in a whole bunch of studies. It was basically 209 studies including 12,000 participants. And this study was done because as we see, the mindfulness-based stress reduction findings are inconsistent. Some people say that the pain reduction goes way down.
And you are really selling this. Just to see if I understand that what you're saying so far is when it comes to back pain, it doesn't make it worse.
It doesn't make it worse. Yes.
It's inconsistently useful.
Well, with pain, with back pain. This one in 2013 was done for mental health disorders specifically. And this one was that mindfulness-based therapy was effective in pre and post comparisons. Oh. So they didn't do randomized control trials like this and that. They did pre and post for this one. And it did not differ from traditional CBT or behavioral therapies or pharmacological treatments. So it's not that mindfulness is a silver bullet to the Wolverine of anxiety. It's just that it is on par with most other things you could do. And especially if your relationship with your therapist is such that it's good.
Silver bullets are for werewolves, not Wolverines. Wolverines are adamantium, but
Did I say whatever. Wolverine?
You said Wolverine, yeah.
Oh, man. I think if I was going to turn to a werewolf, I'd prefer to be a Wolverine werewolf. A wolverwolf. A werewolverine. Yes. Werewolverine.
We did it. There's the new mascot for the show.
A werewolverine.
A werewolverine.
Yeah, it represents anxiety and depression together.
There you go. And it's got claws and can
Yeah, and when it gets depressed, it just goes. It turns back into a human.
Pete, I just feel like I need to apologize. I'm being so goofy. I'm not trying to derail the conversation. I'm just so tired.
Don't break the fourth wall. This is good stuff.
My bad. Sorry, four of you. All four of you.
Yeah, exactly. In any case, if you have a good relationship with your therapist and they're geared towards mindfulness and they're like, we're going to try this, know for certain that it is effective. It's just as effective as cognitive behavioral therapy. It's effective as behavioral therapy. It's effective, in this study anyway, with 12,000 people, they said it was as effective as drugs over the long term.
Yeah.
So that's the research backing for MBSR anyway.
Okay. It's interesting because when you proposed this particular topic, I thought you meant specifically like relaxing. I didn't realize we were doing mindfulness stuff, and I have no problem with it, just so we're clear. But I'm learning so much because I know enough about mindfulness to know the basics, but I've never done a kind of deep dive on it. So,
no, okay. Well, I'm using the term mindfulness, and I conflate it with relaxation because they're so intertwined. But mindfulness has a purpose, and relaxation feels good, and it feels kind of magical, but the purpose of relaxation is to become aware of the moment for me. That's what it is for me, to know, to feel and see and smell those things that I didn't notice a moment ago, and now I'm here.
Oh my gosh. I just realized I've never thought about why I relax, and you're melting my brain.
The point of relaxation for me is mindfulness, is to be fully here. Otherwise, I'm just going to sleep. That's all it is at the end of the night. That's the purpose of relaxation.
Interesting. When I think of relaxation, I think of recuperation. Why do I relax? So that I don't have to deal with stuff.
Oh yeah.
Is that a relaxation or is that just avoidance?
Well, even in approaching difficult situations, people think that mindfulness is a way to escape. But mindfulness is, as you have said, like radical acceptance. Say you don't want to be here, and yet here you are. And so what are we going to do about that? And what can you do in this moment right now? Is worrying about it? What does that mean? Are you going to plan for something? And once you make a plan, can you enact the plan without anxiety? Or what are you going to do right now, right this moment, to approach a problem? If you can't do anything about it because it's next week and you've done everything you need to, and now you're just doing nothing, then relax intentionally. And you've done everything you could, and be mindful of that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
Otherwise,
so we're talking about more than just a physical mindness, but like a mindfulness of like your efforts. I tell my clients, because I don't do a lot of mindfulness centric language. I don't do a lot of modality centric language, really. Which I think sometimes makes my clients think that I'm just some dude talking to them about stuff. I can talk modalities, but I don't talk about mindfulness. I talk about relaxation. And I tell my clients, especially when my clients are super anxious or they feel like they don't have control of their life, I'm like, okay, well, here's your homework, because you need to be selfish for 5 minutes a day. I'm a big advocate of selfishness. And I don't mean selfishness at the expense of other people. I mean self-ish. I'm aware of the self. The ish is about the self. I'm selfish. I'm like I don't know, ish. We'll cut that too. That's just riveting stuff, Taylor. Goodness gracious.
No, that was good. That was good.
It
reminds me of one of those memes I saw with He-Man. He basically said a Fitbit is like an old Tamagotchi, except that dumb animal you're trying to keep alive is you. Until next time, kids.
Yeah. So I'll talk to people. I'll talk people through this idea of setting 5 minutes aside to be selfish. And like, well, I don't want to be selfish because selfish is bad. I say, yes. And selfish is bad if if your son or your daughter is like, Daddy, I'm hungry. And you're like, whatever, kid, I'm being selfish right now. We don't want that. I'm talking about 5 minutes where you unapologetically do what you want to do. I think it's really important because it connects you to your understanding of who you are, right? Like that's how you reconnect to your roots. If you like to read and you don't ever read, who are you? What are you connected to? How do you know who you are if you always set that aside for somebody else? 5 minutes of selfishness a day is, I think, kind of a mindful approach to who you are, experiencing the things of yourself that make you who you are. For example, if I find myself like those months I couldn't play guitar were kind of hard for me because I couldn't reconnect with that part of myself. I couldn't reach in and touch that and go, yep, this is me. I'm still here. What I think and what I feel still matters, and I can still work within this framework. So if you find yourself throughout the day like completely burnt out, you do nothing for yourself, like set a 5-minute timer and go unapologetically read a book for 5 minutes, or do push-ups, or eat a candy bar, or just like for 5 minutes, just do whatever you want to do. And then when that's done, back to reality. If you're really going to be a pro about it, 15 is ideal, because 5 minutes is pretty difficult to get fulfillment out of, but it's better than nothing. I'm a big proponent of selfishness in this fashion, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and that could mean that you're just aware of yourself. Well, when you say selfish, actually, it wasn't about like something you want. To me, it's almost, it is like thinking of yourself as a project. And we're so good with like fixing other people and knowing exactly what people need, knowing what the country needs, for heaven's sake. But yet when it comes to us, we're up until 11:30 at night drinking caffeine because I wanna, because I just, or is that just me? I don't know. But like, basically I that's what I want. And if I was thinking of myself like a potted plant, I would say, oh my gosh, like someone needs to take this plant and take care of it, save this plant. And so the 5 minutes of selfishness for me would be like, I need to drink water, like real water. And I need to go on a walk outside. I need to go see the sky. Because that's what this body needs. This potted plant needs to be outside and needs water. And
yeah, I would take it even a step further. I would say that it's not just about what the plant needs. It's about making sure the plant understands it's important. You know, like if I'm a project, I don't like being a project for other people, but I do like being taken care of, you know? Like, for example, I can talk about this now more
that's
openly.
interesting. You don't like being a project for people, but you like being taken care of.
Yeah, and I think the difference is like if you were a project to me, Pete, it would be like, okay, well, I need to make sure Pete's taken care of. I don't care, but I have to do it. So I'm going to do it so I can report back and say I did the thing, right? As opposed to if you and I are talking and you're like, I had a rough day. I genuinely care and want you to feel like I'm here for you and I want to take care of you. Not because I feel like I have to, but because it's something that I want. You are important to me because of who you are to me and because of who I am.
So you, as a person, have to believe that the other person's motive is positive, is not just
that they want to. I don't want to be a checkbox for somebody.
Yes. Okay.
And so
this. Sorry. Go ahead.
I have a great example of this. You know, so that I just moved my office. You can see I'm in a new place. I'm in my home office. I don't have an office right now. I don't know if I will for a while, just because the office space is fairly limited around here and all that. Which honestly, I'm kind of surprised how much I like my home office. Anyway, the point is, I had to move out, and so I needed help moving out. And there are 3 people in the area that I know who I'm friends with, and I called all 3 of them, and I was like, "Hey, I hate to ask, but I need help moving." And these 3 men showed up at my office on a Saturday morning at 9:00. And they lifted a couch and they lifted this desk and a bunch of stuff. Now I have a slip disc and bad knees and bad ankles and bad wrists. Like I can't lift heavy things or else I'll potentially really hurt myself. And these men schlepped these things to my house and then took this desk specifically upstairs around a tight corner and then set it up for me in my office. And like, that meant so much to me. But that's what I mean. Like, I don't feel like they're doing it because they had to tell each other at the end of the day, all right, well, we did our thing for Taylor. I genuinely felt that they cared. And they even went out of their way to say, hey, man, like if you do get a new office, we'll come back and move it for you again.
Wow. That is great.
Yeah, like it brought tears to my eyes.
And that could be
at a very trying time. I did not want to move.
When you're describing moving stuff, you can pay people to do that. It's not the moving stuff. That was it. When you were describing, like they took this desk and they put it right here. It's really easy to what do you call that? Invalidate that. Like they moved something. But for you, when you called them, you connected to a person, they came over and
Oh, it meant so much to me. It meant
There's
so much. And then one of them even gave me, like, he's like, "Hey man, I know it's been a particularly trying time, so I got you a gift." And
What?
he didn't get me like it wasn't like a little desk tchotchke. He bought me desktop speakers, and I'm talking like these are really nice speakers. These were not $10 speakers. These were significantly more than. And he's like, "I've been wanting to get you these for a while. I just needed a good excuse. And now I had one."
Wow.
Oh, it means
Holy
so much to me.
cow. Yeah. Oh, that is wonderful. Again, it's the emotional power behind a simple action that is by itself not as powerful as the emotion itself.
Yeah, and
Just
like,
moving
talking about
stuff
this
is moving stuff.
Yes. And from a mindfulness thing, what this did is it connected me to an understanding of what my limitations are. I couldn't move this on my own. I needed the vulnerability, the uncomfortable vulnerability of saying I can't do this. And also I recognized through their actions that they actually do care about me and they don't have to. And they went above and beyond to help me. And the value of that connects me to
This, I was thinking of the difference between being taken care of and just being, what is it?
a project.
Being a project. The CEO of Little Caesars paid Rosa Parks rent for like 10 years before she died. And I wonder, what is that on the border between being taken care of or being a project? And it would only matter if they connected. I think if she felt that she was just being taken care of, or was he doing it as a charity thing? And whatever, I'll do that.
That's interesting. I think that he was taking care of her as opposed to making a project of it, because I don't think that came out until after she died.
Yeah,
It wasn't like he was advertising it. It was just, "Hey, I got you."
yeah. I think it's always the emotion behind it, the intent. I want to take care of you in a heartfelt way. Anyway,
Yeah.
back to intentional relaxation. I want to try a couple things. So there have been a few times in my life where I've made an intense photograph, if you will, of my surroundings, and there are instances in my life that are burned in. One of them is deliberate, and one of them was kind of just happened. Oh, two of them. One was 9/11. One was when my daughter was born, and the other was when I deliberately did it when I was deployed in Afghanistan, and I decided I never wanted to forget that experience. And so on my walk to a meeting, I remember the smell of the porta potties, which is this chemical poop smell. I remember the heat on the back of my neck, and I was sweating. I remember the crunch of the gravel underneath my boots and the heat of the heat inside my boots. I remember my feet feeling like they're being cooked. I remember the sound of cars and the taste of dust. And the dust there was fine like baby powder. Like, it was crazy how poofy it was everywhere. But the way to burn these into my head was so vivid that I remember it now, years later. This isn't just a mechanism to remember a moment, but to bring yourself to any moment that you're in. So you can sense it completely and then put it away. Or you can try to really intensely remember it like I did. In any case, relaxation and mindfulness, whatever it is, always starts out with you having your feet solidly on the floor, or your sit bones on the floor, and checking.
Are we
yeah.
real quick, are we walking people through this right now? Should we encourage people to follow along in their homes?
Oh, that would be wonderful. Great idea, Taylor. That's why you're the brains of this operation.
Okay. I'm not.
All right. I always enjoyed following along with my clients as I was talking through it. So if you can find yourself a place to sit, or
let Pete's dulcet tones walk you through.
Let my dulcet tones soothe you. Yes,
intentional relaxation.
Yeah. All right. So find yourself where you are. Let yourself settle down into a sitting position. And be aware first, just generally, of any tension you may hold in your shoulders. Let your shoulders come away from your ears. Your thighs, the big muscles in your thighs, hold a lot of tension naturally. The arches of your feet. Be aware of those. And just give yourself permission to sit in a comfortable position. Let yourself let go of those things in your body that you hold on to. Just for a moment. You can pick them up later, but just for right now, we're just going to put them down. Let your shoulders come down. Let your ears relax. Your thighs and your feet. Now, as you're here with your eyes open or closed, I want you just to become aware of the colors in your room. Not what they mean, just general shapes, colors, the hues, and the tones of the colors. You may notice as you stare on one particular thing that it is not made of one color. You thought it was, but there are actually lighter and darker tones to it. Different hues of it. Of that thing you thought was one color is actually quite a number of colors. Shades. Become aware of the shapes also around the room. I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose and let any smells sit with you for a minute before you exhale. And you're not going to affix a good or bad label to those. They just are what they are. You're just aware of them. You're not repulsed by them. You don't have to run away from them. You just are mindful of them. They didn't repulse you a moment ago. They don't need to repulse you now. You're just aware of them. Take another deep breath in through your nose. Now become aware of the touch on your skin. We're talking about the temperature of the room, the different temperatures in your body, like with your toes versus your back. Any parts of your body are different temperatures. And the clothes that you're wearing, if you can feel your clothes on your skin. If you're wearing any rings or watches, you become aware of those. And any sounds, besides my sounds of my voice, is there anything else going on in the space that you may not have been aware of before? After paying some attention to those, notice in your mouth going along with the smell, how does the inside of your mouth feel? Any tastes or sensations inside of your mouth that you had ignored or not noticed before? And for the last maybe 10 seconds, I want you to bring these together and go through all the senses that you may have noticed and become aware of the brightness of this experience, the intensity of the experience, just for about 10 seconds. It doesn't need to be intense. I'm not saying it will be, but just all the things you didn't notice, the colors, the shapes, the sounds, the smells. Let yourself be fully here for 10 seconds. There, and that's about 10 seconds. And that is a moment. That is a moment. Probably took us 2 or 3 minutes to live in it. But usually when I ask people how are they doing, it's usually positive. How do you feel right now? And they feel a little bit better if they're bought into it. And if you can have a good moment, what made this moment? Why do they say they felt good after this? Why? It's like, well, my body responded well to it. Like, well, why don't you? I mean, if you do this more often, you'll have more positive experiences. And you didn't do anything except be where you are anyway. It's just it's a wonderful thing.
So I moved along with that. I've never had anyone walk me through a mindfulness exercise before.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess that's not entirely true. When I was in grad school, we had a version of a mindfulness exercise that we did during our practicum supervision times. A couple things I want to name, looking for a little bit of a pat on the back, is that I didn't say anything that whole time.
Yes, thank you, Taylor. With as tired as he is, his inhibitions are gone, so we all appreciate
Right.
that.
It's just like blood coming out of my mouth as I'm biting my tongue. What was interesting to me, I'm not bought into mindfulness. Not because I don't like it, but just as like, it's a thing.
Yeah.
It feels, people usually use it as like a, with most pop psychology things, they use it incorrectly, and it means, I'm just going to feel things, bro. What was interesting to me was the slowing down and how I was, let's see, I'm processing this in real time. I feel like I was grateful for the slowdown, and I'm surprised how rejuvenating it was for those couple minutes. I feel more tired. I feel more in touch with my tiredness. Maybe it's another way of saying that.
Oh, that's a good way to say it. Yeah, you're more aware of your tiredness. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just take another shot of this little energy drink here.
Yeah. Good. Put the label away from the camera until we're sponsored.
Yes. Yes. We don't want people to know that I'm drinking.
Oh, man.
This kind of reminds me of something I talk to my clients about. And that is, if you're ever driving your car and you need to stop and put gas in it, generally speaking, you might be annoyed that the car has to have gas put into it, but you don't ever try and make it go beyond what the limits of the gas tank are.
Yeah.
And I think people will not do that with themselves. They're like, I can do this. I can push past this. They dig deep and they get through on fumes and then they're exhausted. And I think that was like a little stop at a gas station where just take a few minutes, put some more gas in the tank. And I tell my clients all the time that putting gas in the tank doesn't mean the car's broken. It means it's functioning properly. And that sometimes you need to get out, turn the car off, put the thing in, wait, take the thing out, put it away, get back in the car, and then you can turn it on and keep going. But without that step, eventually your car just ceases to function.
Yeah.
And you never get mad at your car. Well, maybe you do. But I think in general, people don't get mad at the car for needing gas or needing a charge if you've got an electric car. Like, there's an amount of energy. That energy is used up. The energy needs to be replenished. And that's kind of what we're talking about with intentional relaxation. It's not about like turning your brain off and letting it go to mush. It's saying, I need to recharge. I need to be rejuvenated. And if I don't do that, I will cease to function. And being okay with the truth of that statement. If I don't have a rejuvenating experience, I will cease to function. And that's not because I'm weak. It's because my body needs fuel, emotional fuel, physical fuel.
Yeah, there's so much self-blame with like not being able to keep going. Just keep going, keep doing. And it's like, well, actually, maybe that 5 minutes a day thing you were talking about was actually productive. Oh, I actually have a sticker. I have a sticker on my water bottle that says "Rest is productive."
Yes, yes, it is. That is the dang old truth. With all of this, I guess it sounds like we've made a case for why we don't need to be guilty.
Yeah, not to be guilty for relaxing. Whether it is to become mindful in a moment, or whether it's just to rejuvenate and put gas in your car.
Yeah.
Is there a point at which?
Go ahead.
There's a purpose behind it. I mean, it sounds like my purpose is one thing. I've talked a lot about that. Your purpose was relaxing is a way to rejuvenate. It's like to increase your charge. But
you know what, though? If I'm being honest there, Pete, and I'm uncomfortable with the realization this was, I think that I use it as a way to avoid responsibility more than rejuvenate. That's not. I need to re-examine that one.
Yeah, because avoiding responsibility and rejuvenating go hand in hand. If you ever read a book by a guy named Sample, it's called the Guidebook to Contrarian Leadership. He was a president of a university in California. But one of his points that he made as a contrarian leader was delay decisions. It was, don't make a decision today that can wait till tomorrow, which is very contrarian because people want you to be, quote, productive and like give the answer right now. It's like, well, when do you need it? Is a response to that. So you could see that as avoiding responsibility. You could see it as relaxation. You could see it as contrarian leadership. but the way people want it isn't always the way that it needs to be.
Yeah. It's an interesting approach to leadership. I mean, you look at my two favorite presidents, Washington and Lincoln, and one of the things they had very notably in common is they both refused to make snap decisions. Everyone hated it around them. Like, we need a decision. Are we going to do this? Or are we going to do that? Let's wait. But then once they did decide, they were immovable from that spot because they had given it the full weight that it needed. And it's something that I try and live by. Although I tend to make gut decisions too, so I'm not perfect at it. But that's not the point. The point is, I think anyway.
Oh, I think yeah, it's quite a bit different in the military and in politics. Like the guy I'm talking about, Sample. In the military, they teach us like decisive decisions. Be decisive, but that doesn't necessarily mean immediate. And people think decisive is immediate. It's just be decisive. Just be immovable. Make a decision and stick with it. Mm-hmm. Now that I'm thinking about it, as I'm talking, I'm like, yeah, it doesn't mean immediate, but in the military, it kind of pushes like right now. And it doesn't need to be that way.
Yeah.
So if you're mindful, like someone comes up and says, oh my gosh, they overcharged us. They charged us twice at Costco for this thing. And now we're out $200 because they overcharged us. And you're like, crap. And we have to call them right now and like make sure that they refund it. We have to go there right now to get these $200 back. And you're like, okay, I'm aware of my heart rate going up. I'm aware of the tension in this room and the importance of it. Mm-hmm. Whew, man, this is a tense situation. And I think that's why people hated Lincoln, is because he'll be like, wow, this is really important. We should talk about this.
People are dying right now.
People are dying. Yeah. He's like, wow, that sounds really bad. It made him sound, it makes Lincoln sound like he doesn't take it seriously or he doesn't care, but it's just waiting. It's just, okay.
And he always had those little stories about like, well, that reminds me of the time there was a frog sitting on a log. People are like, well, you just, no more stories. Pete, let me ask you a pointed question then. Do you relax enough?
Oh, do I relax enough? I guess I need to determine what enough is. I believe that I don't want to say I relax too much because that sounds like I'm being hard on myself. Like I actually am not. I do not intentionally relax enough. No, I avoid. I doom scroll. I'll go on walks or I'll read a book or something, but to actually sit and check in with myself and do what I did right now in the moment, I don't do enough. It happens every now and then when I'm in my living room and my family's there and I'm just like, wow, this right here, this, if I could just freeze this is, I've arrived. That feeling, I've arrived, is a mindful moment for me. Because I'll see the kids on the couch or my wife there and there's like, we built a fire and the dog's asleep in front of it. And I'm just like, I've arrived. I have a house. There's a fire. My kids are happy and fed. This is amazing. So it happens every now and then, but that's mindfulness. In terms of relaxation, yeah, I don't think I do.
I also don't think you do. Just based on every time I talk to you, you're like, well, I'm installing a fan and then I got to go do this and then I got to write this and I got to do that. And like, dude, do you just like, and I think you're highlighting what is the difference between not doing something and relaxing. Cause like you're not doing anything when you're walking, but it doesn't sound like that's relaxing to you necessarily.
No. Yeah, exactly. Doing nothing is quite a bit different than productive restfulness. Intentional relaxation means connecting with a part of you that needs watering. It needs support. Mm-hmm. So I would say that my type of relaxing would be if I went and bought my watch parts and I spent an hour putting watches together with my loop and like little things. That's really selfish because it's, I'm focusing on something and I can't be involved with anybody else. So that's really selfish. And it's active.
It's unnecessary. But necessary, right? I mean, I think about just what I know about you and Katie. I know you guys have a lot of stuff you're working on in terms of like your house and you're obviously getting a doctorate and all these things. And I think there's a danger people fall into a trap where they're like, I could relax, but there's stuff that needs to get done, so I can't. And I really want to encourage, because you're sitting in front of me, but anybody listening to this, like, just because there's more stuff to do doesn't mean it needs to be done right now. Relaxation is so important. But by the time you're done, if all you do is focus on a project, you start to hate it. I mean, talk to any PhD student, ask them if they ever want to talk about their research ever again. Like 10 times out of 10, they say, if I ever see the words insert thesis statement, again, I will kill myself.
Well, for me, it was, I don't know. I don't know. Usually people get wiry about their own research, and so they'll talk your ear off about their research, but they don't want to talk about anything else. I think in terms of relaxation, it does come with a certain amount of guilt. It comes with like anxiety about taking care of yourself, because if I want to take 5 minutes and go sit in a tub, that's not something that needs to happen, especially when I have 3 or 4 other things that are high priorities that need to be worked on. Why in the world would I go sit in a hot tub? I mean, people, I don't know if people do that anymore. For me, it's building watches. Why would I spend an hour building a watch and concentrating on that by myself when I have so many other things that need to happen? I say the answer.
Let's walk down the road real quick, Pete.
Yeah. Well,
you misused a word.
What did I say?
You said guilt. You're not talking about guilt. You're talking about shame, buddy.
Well, tell me what you think.
I'm thinking that what you're saying is what kind of person would be working on watches when there's stuff to do? A bad kind of person. I must be a bad kind of person because I'm doing this. No, well, you're not.
Yeah, I see men in my life who are old and have spent their lives in the service of others, and I don't know what they do for themselves. And you only hear about the things they do for other people, and it's like, well, I want to be that kind of selfless person. That means I can't do anything for yourself. If I do something for myself, that means I'm not that type of person. I'm not that weathered old man whose hands have worn down in the service of his country, or his eyesight in Washington's case. You know, that kind of thing. Did Washington ever stroll the grounds of his apple orchard just for the fun of it? I don't know.
Yeah, in fact, that's what he did right before he died. That's kind of what killed him, to be honest. He was out in his fields in the rain, and he came inside, and he didn't take off his wet clothes, but he was out just exploring his place. He was being very selfish with his time, and the people came to visit him, and so he got a cold, and then they did a bloodletting and took out 40% of his blood, and then he died.
Oh my gosh.
Oopsies.
Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, his humors were imbalanced.
Yes, Washington absolutely was selfish with his time. Absolutely he was.
All right.
You should be more selfish with your time.
That answers that. How to become a great man while supporting... Well, this sounds really oxymoronic. How to become a great man while supporting yourself. It's like...
Oh, that makes me so sad. That makes me so sad, Pete. Why would that be an oxymoron, to be a great man while taking care of yourself?
Because I would think let's say great person. A great person.
Sure.
Other people care about how you make them feel. So it's always about them.
Sure.
And I'm not talking about living a hedonistic life of selfishness, but we're talking about 5 minutes a day. And
15 if you're doing it right.
Yeah. And there is quite a bit of shame, because 15 minutes is a quarter of an hour, and what the heck are you doing with your life? Why are you doing that? I admit there is a lot of shame to give up when I want to do something, and you have to push people off who come and demand things of you, and you have to fight for yourself, and you may not feel you have a right to do that. So your kids come and sit, want things. Your wife comes, needs something, that's your 15 minutes. Now, I would say that the risk of being interrupted in a 15-minute span even is probably pretty low, because 15 minutes wouldn't be that long. I mean, I've pooped for longer than 15 minutes.
Maybe that's your selfish time. I just did the math, by the way. 15 minutes is 1% of your day.
Yeah, exactly. So, but that feeling of I'm going to have to push people off, or I could do something with 15 minutes. It was actually, I will probably feel bad about this and end up doom scrolling for 15 minutes or half an hour.
Yeah, and to that I say, I think about my kids. What do I want my kids to know? I want my kids to know they're worth 15 minutes of self-care a day, right? Like, this is my time so that I can be here for you the other 99% of my life.
Man, 1% of the day. That's great. That's like a personal tax.
Yeah,
And it's
exactly.
pretty darn low.
Yeah, if your tax is 1%, then you're killing it. But
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm feeling so like, Pete, I hope you relax more.
Oh, well, thanks, Taylor.
I
I've
do.
been
And I'm
worried
not saying
about
that.
you as well. It's
Oh,
kind of funny.
gosh.
We started this podcast in like the height of this like really stressful time in both of our lives.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's very true. Maybe we're just trying to find a way to get someone to take care of us without feeling like we're forcing it.
Yeah, yeah. Please send us a kind email at emotionalmenpc@gmail.com. Taylor
Tell
needs,
us you love us.
yeah, Taylor needs a sugar mama, I think.
Oh, dude, no, my wife is all the sugar I need. I guarantee that. I think that part of this podcast, we make lots of jokes about four people listening to us and whatever, and we also always say that like the best part of this is each other, but like it really is. But part of that is like we get to. I have talked to Pete more in the last 3 months than I had the last 2 decades,
Yeah.
which has been great, and it's reminding me how much I really care for your well-being. Kind of selfishly because I feel better when my friends feel good, but I do hope that you take some time for yourself to selfishly be like, hey, I am going to work on watches today because that's who you are. That's what you do. You are a watchmaker and you are a father and you devote a lot more than 1% of your time to being a father. And you're a husband and you devote a lot more than 1% of your time to being a husband. And you are a very handy person and you're devoting more than 1% of your time to your household and to your getting your PhD. In all of this, Pete, I hope you don't lose who you are, which is a watchmaker that you make because you enjoy making watches. And that version of you is worth protecting, and not just protecting, but supporting and invigorating and emboldening. I think when people don't make time for themselves, they don't make time to exist. And what a loss for the people around them.
Like that
Things
part
that
of
have
them
made
has
you,
ceased to exist. That part is no longer there. So it's like a person has
yeah.
died.
Like imagine if you and we do this thing and you're like, oh, hey, Taylor, good. I'm so glad we're doing this podcast. How's the music going? It's like, oh, I gave that up years ago because it wasn't productive.
Oh, ouch. Oh,
You'd punch
my
me in
heart.
the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That hurts.
So why
That's,
don't
seriously, you
you get
saying
to do
that?
that to yourself?
I had a visceral reaction to that. That's crazy. Like
Yeah.
saying that, no, I gave that up years ago. I thought Taylor is like Taylor the guitarist, Taylor the musician. That's like almost a separate entity in my mind. Taylor the musician and Taylor the therapist, Taylor the dad, and to have Taylor the musician die, like I need a moment.
Yeah. And like, think about that. If I'm like, I don't do music anymore because it's not productive.
Oh
What a
yeah.
slap in the face to what music is to me and what it has meant to me and what my music to other people has meant. And I'm not like some crazy famous musician, but I know that it's a big part of some of my relationships, right? That's how I feel, Pete, when you're like, why would I take care of myself? Why are you killing this beautiful thing?
I hope other people hear that and take that to them. Like I'm
Yes.
quiet right now, but like this is Taylor speaking out into the ether of human
Yes,
ears.
Pete is right in front of me, so he's the easiest to talk to, but like literally anybody listening to this. If you can think of a friend and they were to come up to you and say, hey, I gave up this thing because it's not productive. Like, that thing that I love about you is gone because it doesn't do anything productive. No, why? No.
That is weird that how like your thing affects me. I saw my thing as being selfish and it's my thing. Like watchmaking is selfish, but then now if I stop that, it would affect other people. Like my kids, I had my daughter make a watch. She designed it and we bought the parts. We built a watch for her. She has one now. My son did the same thing. He bought parts and he helped me build a watch. And I don't think about that as affecting them. Watchmaking is my thing. It's very selfish. But yeah, it's out there as now a part of the Kingsley milieu. The Kingsley condition is watches now.
Yeah,
it does affect other
like,
people. Your selfishness is a good thing for other people.
Yes, yes, and protecting it is worthwhile, and losing it is a sadness.
Sounds like a song. You should write that. Protecting is worthwhile. Losing it's a sadness.
You know, I actually, because I moved my office, I have a MIDI keyboard that I now have on my desk. I'll send you a picture of my desk setup, Pete.
No, you did. You did. I saw it. I was wondering why there was a piano next to your computer.
Yeah, it's a MIDI keyboard, and I did that because now it's just there so I can access it easily. And so I started working on music again more intentionally because now it's just right there. I'm actually working on a song that sounds like an angry version of the Jackson 5's "I Want You Back." But between sessions, I had a bass line and I had a drum part, and it's got a good groove to me. But I was like, I wonder what would happen if I started putting a keyboard over it. So I put like a Wurlitzer or a Rhodes type sound, and then I just started playing chords, and it changed it completely. Like that discovers like, oh, I'm back, I'm back, nice. And I got excited because I recognized myself in it. Like that's intentional relaxation. And oxymoronically, by doing that, I felt more invigorated than I had in a while.
By relaxing, you felt more energized.
Yeah, so I think about you and your watches, or
yeah.
you and like your shaving stuff. Like you made me the brush, right?
Uh-huh.
I would imagine that you do that and you finish it like hell yeah.
Yeah. Something is there that wasn't there before. We've talked about creativity in general, but like
yeah, but it builds, it invigorates, it emboldens, it injects life and energy into. And so when I talk, you know, again, not to make this, you're in front of me, Pete, but like I hope you protect these parts of you because they're what keep you alive. That's the gas in the car. And like, you can tell the difference between a full tank of gas and an empty tank.
Yeah. I'm by no means at 36%, but I do feel the difference when I
33 now.
33%. Oh my gosh. Your Garmin watch is just full of judgment.
That's right. Jeez, Taylor, be better.
You're almost dead. Just give up.
It feels like it. It feels like it. But only, no, never mind. We'll not do that. So there, go relax, everybody.
Yes, go relax, everybody. Write us a relaxing email, emotionalmenpc@gmail.com.
Yeah, just like open the email and just like put your head down on the keyboard and let that be the message.
Oh man, that'd be awesome. We get a dozen emails that are just gobbledygook.
Yes,
I just put my head on the keyboard. That's relaxing. Anyway, thank you all for listening. It's always a pleasure talking to you, Taylor. You're the awesome sauce in this pasta.
No, I'm the noodles. You, my friend, are the sauce.
Yes.
I've you know, I think I've told you this, but like I think about what this podcast is and what I enjoy about it, and like truly, if I am the meat, because it was my dumb idea. But like the reason it works is because of you, and I'm really grateful for that. So.
Oh, thanks. Well, I hope it works for everyone else too.
And if not, whatever, it's still out in the air.
Yeah.
Why don't we have more listeners, Pete? Maybe it's because we insult them every chance we get. But
anyway, thanks, Taylor.
Yeah, man.
Love you. Bye.